So, the unknown woman in The Last of Us Part 2. Who is she and what role will she play in the game? All we really know is her name has 4 letters and she's a badass who doesn't seem to be scared of the infected. Some seem to think she's Ellie's mother Anna. Some think she's Ellie's long lost sister that she never knew she had. And some think she's Ellie's daughter in the future. I personally don't think she is any of those things. She can't be Ellie's mother, because if you look at the PSX trailer from 2017 and the E3 demo from 2018, you can see that the Seraphites look exactly the same in both and are doing the same kind of shit, such as disemboweling people while they're dangling from a rope. If that's Anna, that would mean it was at the very least 19 years before Ellie's run-in with the Seraphites. Now don't get me wrong, the Seraphites could have existed 19 years prior, but they would have most likely been in their infancy. They probably wouldn't have had the same look or mentality that they have now. Plus, I really don't think a cult like that would have lasted that long anyway. Now, just because I don't think that's Anna doesn't mean I think Anna isn't in the game at all. I'm sure we will learn what happened to her around the time of Ellie's birth sometime throughout the narrative, but in my opinion, the unknown woman just isn't her. Now, her being Ellie's sister makes a little bit more sense, but if you read the letter in Ellie's backpack from her mother, you'd know that she didn't really like kids all that much. And in that letter, she pretty much made it seem like Ellie was her first and only child, and she died shortly after giving birth, so it's unlikely that she had another kid. I mean, yeah, she could have had one before Ellie, and it was a pain in the ass to take care of, which is why she said she wasn't a big fan of them. Maybe that kid grew up to be the mystery lady. Maybe she too is immune to the virus, which is why she stood fearless with that hammer when the infected were coming at her. It's unlikely though. Now, her being Ellie's daughter in the future is probably the most far-fetched theory of them all. The unknown lady looks like she's in her early to mid-20s. There's no way the Seraphites still exist that far into the future, especially since Ellie is going to most likely kill them all off by the end of the game. I mean, being able to play as Ellie's kid does sound like something crazy Neil Druckmann would do for the game, but I just don't see it happening though. Alright, now it's time to talk about more plausible theories of who the mystery woman could be. One theory is that she's Ellie's ex-girlfriend, KATT. KATT is her ex that gave her the iconic tattoo over her bite mark. We learned about her in an interview with Hallie Gross, the co-writer of the game. And I'll leave a link to that interview in the description below in case you guys haven't seen it yet. But I don't think Hallie was supposed to mention KATT because there is no information about her anywhere else except for that interview. Hallie even said there would be tension between Dina and KATT, which is something else I don't think she was supposed to say. And she probably got in trouble with Nil after spilling all those beans. But anyways, the name KATT could be spelled K-A-T-T, which is 4 letters, which is the amount of letters teased by Naughty Dog back in 2017. And you're probably thinking, if that's KATT, why isn't she in Jackson? Well, for theory's sake, we'll say she heard about Ellie going off on a revenge quest, and maybe she went to find Ellie so that she could help her out. And her standing fearlessly, waiting for the infected to come at her in the trailer, makes sense, because she probably goes on similar runs like Ellie and Dina to clean out areas filled with the infected, so she's used to dealing with them. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but Naughty Dog released 2 posters on Outbreak Day in 2016 and 2017. One of Ellie's arm and one of the mystery woman's arm. Looking at those, it makes me think. You get to see Ellie's tattoo, and you get to see the hand of the person that gave her the tattoo. Boom! Figured it out, guys. I know it's stupid, but I mean, this is a theory video, so we gotta let the stupid slide. Now, I said she might have went looking for Ellie to help her, but since Hallie said there would be tension between KATT and Dina in the narrative, what if Ellie is actually looking for her because she has something to do with what happened to Dina? What if KATT and Ellie had a bad breakup, and she's seen Dina and Ellie kissing and being romantic with one another, got jealous, and decided to do something to take Dina out of the picture. Highly unlikely, I know. There are some psychopathic, jealous ex-lovers that exist in the world, but I don't think the tension Hallie was talking about has anything to do with the violent act that sets Ellie on her path for revenge. Unless KATT knows Ellie's secret. She did give her the cover-up tattoo, and since they dated, Ellie probably felt she could trust her with the knowledge of her immunity. So what if KATT does get jealous seeing Ellie and Dina together and decides to tell the Fireflies? Or maybe she doesn't know about the Fireflies, but maybe she just goes all over the place and starts telling everybody that Ellie's immune. And somehow that info gets back to the Fireflies. And if the Fireflies found out, they'd most likely show up to Jackson, kill a bunch of people including Dina, or maybe they just take Dina as collateral until Ellie decides to give herself up. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Another theory is that she's a new character that I shall name Emma, and she is on the same kind of revenge quest that Ellie's on, and they eventually meet up, realizing they're after the same faction, and decide to help each other out. She then becomes your new permanent companion, and a new gameplay feature becomes available: the ability to switch between Ellie and her anytime you want. Just kidding. There's no way there would be a character switch feature in this game. Only time we'd switch to her or any other character is when it was time for it to occur in the story. But another theory is that the unknown woman is the new leader of the Fireflies, taking Marlene's place. She's on the hunt for Ellie and Joel, while Ellie is on the hunt for the Fireflies. Because I'm assuming the Fireflies have something to do with the violent act that causes Ellie to become the female Punisher. That's why we haven't gotten any info about the Fireflies since we seen their logo on that stop sign in the 2016 PSX trailer. I feel like they play a pivotal role in the story, and Neil just doesn't want any of that info getting released. Another theory that I just thought of is maybe the unknown woman really is the nemesis in part 2. Not necessarily the new leader of the Fireflies, but maybe of whatever faction Ellie's after. Maybe they're going to force us to play as the bad guy, and we're going to have to kill some innocent people. Neil was talking about how the cycle of violence plays a huge part in the story. So imagine we're playing the game as Ellie during all the nice parts of the start of the game. Then boom, we get switched to this woman who leads a full-on assault on Ellie's community. And you have to kill her people even if you don't want to. They're going to force us to see how things are from both sides. It'll be like Joel said in the first game when Ellie asked how he knew it was an ambush. He's been on both sides.
How did you know?
Know what?
About the ambush.
I've been on both sides.
So, a lot of innocent people.
And Neil might want to force us to be on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Neil said he was doing something you could only do in video games. And switching between a good person and a bad person is definitely something you could only do in video game form. We'd be switching back and forth between Ellie and the bad guy up until the end, where we get to finally kill the bad guy we've been playing as. Mind blown. I really don't see that happening though. It's just something stupid that popped in my head. Doing that would definitely divide the fan base for sure. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even finish the game if that was the case. I would though. You know, the story would definitely be worth the PTSD afterwards. Well, that's all I can think of. I spoke of some theories you've probably heard, some you probably haven't, but regardless, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and remember, no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for. Clicker out. God, I cannot click.